the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
Hello, and welcome once again to another fantastic Tuesday. This is your Dress Down CEO, Tyrone Glover, coming to you live from my hometown of Yonkers, New York. Welcome, everybody, to another day of where we help you get to that next level. Leverage your score is what we do. We help you, the consumer, the constituent, the friendly neighbor, the individual who is struggling. We know you're struggling, folks. We know you're struggling. We know you're struggling. I'm going to say it again. We know you're struggling. We get it. We understand it. That's why we do what we do. Soul City Network and Leverage Your Score, which your Dress Down CEO, Tyrone Glover. We're here to help you. We're here to make sure that you're going to be okay, not just for the remainder of 2022, but for equally as we move into 2023 and beyond. The recovery years are coming up, folks. The recovery years are coming up. What are you going to do? You're going to wait for another pandemic? You're going to wait for another presidential election cycle where we might get another Looney Tunes up there? Is that what you're going to do? I'm telling you now, if you do that, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's why it's now more than ever super important to be making sure that you are checking your finances, checking them twice, making sure that they are not naughty, but they are nice. Okay? Christmas season is upon us. The gift giving season is upon us, and I am here to give you a gift that will last you forever. All you got to do is apply it in the right manner. All you got to do is put it to use in the manner in which it's going to benefit you. And if you are struggling, if you are having difficulties with that understanding, please reach out. Reach out to us. Reach out to Leverage Credit Recovery. Reach out to Soul City Network. Reach out to Access Wealth Nation. Reach out to these understandings because we can help you. The experts are now asking for you. We're asking. You don't need to ask for the experts. Where are we? We're asking for the consumer. All right? YouTube, Apple TV, Verizon, all of these understandings that are associated with Soul City, reach back out. We are here. We are ready. We are prepared. We are skilled. We are knowledgeable. We have the resources and the tools to help any income situation. Why are you still struggling? Why? Why do you want to keep struggling when I've already said what I just said? Why? Start thinking about this recovery and thinking about it in a manner in which it's going to help your bottom line. Because I'm telling you, the Walmarts, the Targets, the Macy's, the Old Navies, all of those stores that are in the malls, all of these places that we are enriching. Again, do you guys realize what you just did? You broke more records again with your Cyber Mondays, with your Black Fridays, with all of these so-called deals, even though inflation is 7.75. Come on now, people. Come on now. Come on. I'm going to say it again. Come on. Stop it. You want to beat inflation? Stop spending and put that money into better uses and understandings. Your children don't need to update the phone again. They don't need another gaming console. They don't need another laptop computer. They don't need all of these newfangled devices. But if you do want to get it for them, at least get it for them at 1% or 0%. 1 to 2. Okay, we'll keep it in that 1 to 2 area. All right, let's get this party started. We are having a necessary conversation, and we're talking about things that are important to not only me, but equally important to you because you've already asked me, hey, can you talking about some of these things? So today's conversation, we're going to be talking about some vocabulary. Do you really know what a lot of these things mean when you hear them? Or are we just kind of playing around with semantics? Are we just having a little fun with it? Do we really understand? I want to know. If you do understand it, then great and fantastic. You're one step above the rest. Now, are we applying what you know? Because if you're doing that, then you're even, again, in a much, much better position, state. You'll be able to go out and do what you need to do. But even if you do not, we're going to be covering some of this. Go back to those previous shows that are on Soul City and get a good understanding. We're going to be doing this every single Tuesday. We're going to be doing this as often as we need to get all of us. I don't care about the ethnicity. Primarily African Americans, working poor, middle class, Hispanic, working poor, middle class, Middle Eastern, working poor, middle class, Asian, working poor, middle class, Caucasian, working poor, middle class. It doesn't matter that ethnicity. It doesn't matter that gender. You are working poor, middle class. I am addressing and I'm talking directly to you. Directly to you. And I need you to adhere, listen to, and start applying these, understanding these principles and start recovering. Because if you do, I'm telling you, you're gonna reap the benefits. In the midst of chaos, there's always opportunities. Major opportunities. Major opportunities are out there. So let's keep this party going. Leverage credit recovery, a necessary conversation around financial literacy. My name is Tyrone Glover, and I'm the CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I have a question for you. Eat for a day or eat for a lifetime? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? We can give you a fish every single day so that you can eat for one day. Or we can teach you, coach you, tutor you, mentor you how to fish so you can eat for a lifetime. What's it going to be, people? What's it going to be? You let me know, because I'm all for either one. But I'd rather coach, teach, mentor, educate you so you can eat for a lifetime no matter what the circumstances may be. All right? You have a chance should you make the proper choice. It's just that simple. You all have a chance should you make the proper choice. All right, so the agenda today, we're going to be talking about who am I, because everyone needs to know. I'm just not some random Joe that came off the street to say, hey, wait a minute, let me just go and do a show about subject matter that I know nothing about. That's not what I'm here to do. I know extensively about what it is that I'm talking about. And this is the benefit of being who I am. I have been strategically placed by the Father, creator of all, for this precise moment in history. I've gathered all of the knowledge. I've got not all, obviously there's still more out there, but I've gathered as much knowledge as I possibly could. I've gathered as much understanding, educational benefits, fortitude. I mean, you name the word that might be associated with what I'm attempting to convey to you. That's me. I got it. And you need what I have. It's just that simple. Erykah Badu said it best. Call Tyrone. I'm telling everybody, call me. Pick up the phone, call me. Give me a call. All right, so who am I? Why is financial literacy so important? We're going to be talking about some components of financial literacy. Who's investing? That's a big one. That's where my colleague Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, I'm not here to talk about investing. I'm just telling you who's investing. I'm not here to give you any financial advice in that realm or that space because that's not my lane. My lane is credit. But being that I've been discussing and talking with a lot of people, primarily my students, but I've been talking with their parents, I've been talking with passerbyers, I've been talking with a lot of adults, and they're all asking these very same questions. Vocabulary. They're asking these questions about investing. They're asking these questions about credit. They're asking these questions. And I attempt to give them as much as I possibly can about my lane, and I direct them, obviously, to those individuals who are outside of my scope to let them know, hey, we got the same passionate people in those other areas. But I just wanted to highlight who's investing. Essential financial terms to know. A lot of us run around here talking about inflation. Do you even know what inflation means? You can't keep running around here acting as if we do when in all actuality we don't. So today we're gonna focus on making sure that you are a savvy, wise, smart, better consumer, so that when you go out there tomorrow, or you go out there next week, or you go out there next year, that you'll know your ducks need to be in a row, your I's need to be dotted, and those T's need to be crossed before you start spinning that bread. All right, and then lastly, contact details. You need to know how to get in touch with your boy, because I want to hear from you. All right, so who am I? As I stated, my name is Tyrone Glover. I'm an enlisted Go Army veteran K through 12 teacher, corporate America executive by way of European studies with 30 plus years entrusted to me by 19 companies in the United States and abroad. So I didn't just work here, I worked also abroad. Responsible for the well-being of employees and profit. Employees are the ones that drive profit. So you got to take care of your employees. You got to make sure that they are well versed in whichever, again, the subject matter of that particular entity might be. And if they're not, guess what? You're going to be setting yourself up for failure. So focus on success. My clients, friends, co-workers, students, and family remember me for my expertise, knowledge of credit, for credit advocacy, credit activism, my commitment to customer rights protection, and pro se litigant rights. Yeah, pro se litigant, that one is a big one. I can't wait to talk about that later on down the road, because you are going to need to represent yourself sometimes if you are dealing with a financial concern in court. You're going to need to represent yourself. And if you know the subject matter, you're going to go into court and you're going to win, regardless. That person could be the best lawyer in the whole wide world. If they don't understand the subject matter, you're going to go in there and you're going to slather them. Yes, slather. You're going to give them a big old beating. All right. So from this day forward, our youth, and this is my commitment, my promise to our youth and student of all ages, you now have a seat and a voice at the table. Please take this serious, because I'm as serious as a heart attack, that I'm going to be advocating, doing all I can to make sure that our youth and our school age kids have every bit of understanding prior to getting into that working world. And I'm actually asking them to go home and ask mom and dads, ask the caregivers, ask those grandparents, ask those who are literally in that household who are adults. You need to be asking them those questions. What's our credit? Do we own? Are we investing? Take those three first. Because if you ask those questions, you'll probably start a very interesting conversation and dialogue. If you ask those three. So start with those three first and come back every single Tuesday to get more and more and more and more and more. We're going to start with those three first. Please, we need to do better. And these are times of doing better because we're in a recovery. Take it serious, folks. All right. So what is financial literacy? So why is financial literacy so important? Financial literacy is important because it equips us with the knowledge and the skills we need to manage money effectively. Without it, our financial decisions and the actions we take are or don't take lack a solid foundation for success. Again, it lacks a solid foundation for success. Financial literacy is so important because there's so many components that encompass. As I stated, I'm a credit guy. I deal primarily with credit. I am that person who helps you build that foundation. You want to build a house, you're going to need a stable foundation. That's my lane. I know it in, out, left, right, up, down, you name it. I'm so good at that that I ask everyone to, again, you got a question about it, Equifax, TransUnion, or Experian. Y'all think that we're not giving the proper or the right information, CFPB, FTC, Congress. I've asked you all to come on the show. Join me on the show. Help me help others. If you think I'm saying something that is inappropriate or out of line or incorrect, hit me up. Hit me up. Let me know. I'll bring you in. Don't worry. because I'm not doing that. I know for a fact that I'm not doing that because I do research, extensive research, thanks to Maxine Waters, thanks to the CFPB, thanks to the FTC, thanks to the 5 Consumer Protection Acts that protect us. That's why I know what I know. That's why I do what I do, because I've done my homework. So nearly half of Americans don't expect to have enough money to retire comfortably. That should be alarming in itself. Credit card debt has reached its highest point ever, but yet you're still out there shopping. 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 emergency expense. Those 3 things right there alone should tell you, ooh, maybe I'm not doing everything that I should be doing. Maybe I need to start listening to this individual who's giving me this financial literacy information. Because again, as I told you, it's components. It's piece after piece after piece after piece after piece after piece. And the more that you understand how to connect those pieces, the more stable your financial situation is going to be. There's no getting around it, folks. I'm telling you, if you start doing these things now, you're going to benefit. Given the above statistics, it might not be surprising that nearly 2/3 of Americans can't pass a basic test of financial literacy. A basic 2/3. I'm speechless. I'm a guy who talks for a living, and that right there, again, this little bit right there has made me speechless. To explore the importance of financial literacy, we ask this question. Why isn't financial literacy a major focus in our colleges, high schools, and pre-K through 8th grade? Why? Why is it that they don't want individuals to have this knowledge? Why? It's only going to make a better consumer. Yes, we'll keep some in that poverty range. Yes, we'll keep some middle class, but they'll all be better consumers. It will actually help businesses if we had literate people, or at least more literate people about their finances. It would help. Trust me. I'm a business person, been in business for 30 plus years, as you just saw. 30 plus, worked for 19 different companies. When I was able to help someone understand what they're buying and their purchasing power, they kept coming back because they found loyalty to not me, but to the understanding of how I was loyal to them, the consumer. So we got to rethink this strategy. So pre-K through 8th grade. The population they serve spans a broad range of ages, obviously incomes, and backgrounds. These academic facilities witness firsthand the impact which financial literacy or the lack of financial literacy can have on a person's life. We see it through those schools. We see who comes in doing what they need to be doing. We see it when we talk to parents. And I get a little bit more because I'm actually in a space where I get to talk to parents and kids on a much, much deeper level when it comes to the understanding of financial literacy and the understanding of your credit. As I stated, I'm a credit guy. I will not and cannot ever will I give anyone information about your investments or things of that nature. That's not my space. I can give you what I do, and maybe you could probably follow along in that regard. But there are individuals out there who are far more versed, have all the qualifications when it comes to your financial management, the structure of how you should be managing your finances. That's a whole new realm that, as I said before, not my space. My space is the credit space. Credit is my lane, and I love staying in that lane. But it's important that even us, those who have a lane, we talk about those things that are equally part of the overall understanding of financial literacy. You cannot forget about these understandings. They're all part, they all tie in together. And the more that you understand it, the more success you will have. All right, so what we're going to be also equally hitting up is 20 of the most terms to boost your financial literacy vocabulary. Here's a tip for you. Want to be fluent in financial literacy? Start with these 20 essential words. Now, I know they're all not words, they're a combination of, but start with these 20 essentials. Pop-up quiz. What does credit worthiness mean? Anybody? 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 Yes, yes, and yes. Oh, no, you got that one wrong. Just kidding. There's nobody here but me. Credit worthiness. That means, are you worthy of credit from a lender? Have you been executing all of the processes that you need to execute so that when a lender wants to lend to you, they can do it without any problem, because they're going to pull up that credit history. They're going to take a look at all of the information, and they're going to say, this person is credit worthy. So it's so nice to know that a lot of us hopefully understand these 20 phrases as well as essential words. Annual percentage rate. Do you know what your annual percentage rate is? Because if you don't, you need to. If it's up here, you might want to think about getting it down. If it's in that 20, if it's in that high teens, you might want to be renegotiating with your lender to say, hey, I've been with you for, I had a client today, a perfect example, that I was talking to, and oh, well, I tried a couple of days ago and you didn't try hard enough. Because if you've been with somebody for 15, 20 years and they're not even thinking about lowering your interest, it's time to say c'est la vie. It's time to say adios. It's time to say auf Wiedersehen. It's time to say goodbye. Because they're not doing you any favors. They're not doing you none. So think about your annual percentage rate. Assets. What are you? Are you an asset or are you a liability? Which one are you? Because you're going to have to make the decision, asset or liability. I'm an asset. I bring value to things. So I hope you are an asset as well. I hope you bring value to things. So if you do, then you need to be thinking about all of what we're talking about here. If you are an asset. Bankruptcy. Does anybody really understand what that's all about? Do you know how many bankruptcy understandings that there are? Quite a few of them, to be honest with you. Budget. How many of you are budgeting? How many of you sit down week to week or however you budget and make sure that everything is on track? Because if you're not, again, this is probably part of why you're not successful when it comes to your financial understanding. Credit, as I told you, that's my lane. That's my lane. Credit is my lane. You got issues, you have problems, you have concerns, reach out to Tyrone Glover. I'm telling you, that's my lane. That's my space. I got you so covered, so good. I've been helping hundreds of people just in this particular quarter, not this particular quarter, but this particular year. Yes, we're still in COVID. We're still dealing with the respiratory concerns that are out there. We're still dealing with the flu and all of these other situations that might be preventing us from staying closer or getting closer. But what are we doing right now? We're talking online. We're using technology. So stop letting the excuses get in the way of what technology can now move out of the way. So credit worthiness, credit reports, credit score, debit card. Does a debit card report to Equifax, TransUnion, Experian? Absolutely not. So why are you using it so much? Think about these things. Debt. There's good debt, there's bad debt. Which one is an asset and which one is a liability? You see how this all ties in? This all ties in together, every part of it. Default. How many of you are out there defaulting on your contractual obligations? Because if you are, you need to stop. If you do not have financial literacy understanding, then you're going to keep defaulting because you don't know what you're doing. So let us help you out. Diversification, my apologies. That means moving things around, putting them over here, putting some over there. All your eggs in one basket. Does that work? That's an old one, that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. Income. Do we even understand how our income statements work? Do you even understand how your income works? Because if you don't, these are some of the reasons why you're probably still not able to manage things the way that you need to manage it when it comes to financial literacy. All right? Inflation, the big one that I've been talking about. Inflation. You got to stop shopping. If you stop shopping, guess what? You'll be able to navigate inflation with no problem. 2 years ago, inflation was under 2. It was under 2 years ago. We weren't complaining. Well, some of you were, because again, oh my God, I can't believe it's so high, so high. Well, now it's 7.75. And they're talking about another 0.50 basis points of raising it. Yeah, I can talk about these things, but I'm not giving you the advice of what to do. I'm just letting you know I'm informed, and you should be equally informed. All right, interest. Whenever you borrow, there's going to be some cost on top of that. So that means you're going to be paying back some interest. Needs versus wants. All right, you need this information. You need this information. You need this information. You might want a new phone, but you need this information. You might want a new computer, but you need this information. You might want a new car, but you need this information. It's just that simple. All right, pay yourself first. There's nothing wrong with that, but don't overindulge in paying yourself first. Because if you do that, then you're going to miss out on all of the success that comes from all of these other 20 most important terms. So don't overindulge. Don't go nutso about, again, paying yourself first. Buy yourself a pair of sneakers. Buy yourself a pair of jeans, a sweater, a hat, whatever it is. Don't overdo it. Goes right back into that needs and want area. Principal. Do you know the principal of your primary debt? If you bought a car, are you paying the principal already? Or are you now in your 6th year and you're not paying the principal because you don't know what that means? Not the principal in your school or the dean of your college. No, I'm talking about the principal when it comes to your understanding of debt, money, cash flow, bills, payments. All right. And last but not least, time value of money. Time is money, folks. Time is money. And if you're not capitalizing, then someone else is capitalizing off of your money and your time. So it's really important. These are just 20 of the top ones that I decided to pull out. And I'm hoping that you take these serious. I'm hoping that you run with these and go, okay, you know what? I need to know a little bit more about this stuff, because ultimately your bottom line is going to be affected. It's going to be affected, and you're going to be affected, and we're going to set our children up for further failure. We cannot keep going down this road of financial disaster. At some point, we got to wake up, and I'm hoping I'm waking you up. All right, so components of financial literacy. Financial literacy breaks down into 2 parts. You have a knowledge piece, and then you have a skills piece. The particular knowledge and skills which defines financial literacy can be divided into 6 categories. So each one of these breakdowns, the knowledge piece as well as the skills piece, is going to be broken into 6 different categories. You have your spending and your savings, you have your credit and your debt, you have your employment, you have your investing, risk management, and your decision making. So we got a lot of pieces in 2 groups that we have to go over. And again, you want these slides, you want these videos, please contact Soul City Network. Reach out to Leverage Credit Recovery. We'll be more than happy to share this with you. You can also come back into Soul City and review these live recordings for yourself. This is valuable information. It's only going to help you with the success that you're striving to get when it comes to your financial understanding. We have to do more for self. And when we do, we'll start reaping the benefits of what these other companies are, more or less, they're betting on our failure. They know that we don't possess the understanding, so they're going to keep capitalizing. They're going to keep capitalizing. They're going to keep capitalizing. You got to do better. You have to do better. All right, so the first part, financial literacy knowledge, we're going to be talking about the spending and savings. I'm not going to go over every single one of them, but I want you to get a highlighted item. And as I stated, if you need these later, please let me know. I'll be more than happy to send these out to you so that you can have family meetings, so that you can have group sessions, whatever it is that you want to be doing. These will help you get to that next level. So understanding the different payment methods. That's really important. Which one of these is actually benefiting me or harming me? Just because you have access to your money, but you're paying for that access, is that a plus? No, it's a negative. All right. Credit cards are, again, let me rephrase that. Credit cards are a plus. They are a plus because they get reported, but you have to manage it properly. You can't just go out there using and spending and doing and not bringing down or accessing the things that you need to in the manner in which you should be. All right. So understanding the difference between payment methods is going to help you be successful. Saving provides money for future purchases. Now, this savings piece has always been a questionable item for me because, as I stated, I dove a little bit further into the understandings of banks, dove a little bit further into the understanding of minimum wage, dove a little bit further into the understanding of how we operate when it comes to financial institutions, and these banks are taking advantage. And just think about, I'm 56, so for at least for 30 years, banks have been taking advantage of at least me. They've been stealing my wealth. They've been stealing my opportunities. What have they given me back? Absolutely nil, nothing. So it's important to understand that savings piece. Are you saving to provide money for future purchases, or are you saving it where the financial institution gets to make more money off of your money? Really important to understand that. Understand how banks work. They're not your friends. Just because they say, oh, hi, Susie. Hi, Jane. Hi, Tyrone. Hello, Mario. Just because they greet you and they know you by name, they're not your friend. They're there for a business purpose, and that's it. And you should be looking at it in that manner as well. It's not like it used to be. Your information is now being put into a computer. That computer is kicking out the necessary results. And if you're not up to snuff when it comes to your data, guess what? All those greetings and all those niceties, they're going to mean absolutely nothing. So let's get on board, folks. Let's get on board. Let's do what we got to do. I'm telling you, if you do, you're going to have no problems. If you allow for me to give you this information, and then if you need my assistance, you reach out. Oh, win, win, win. We're creating win, win, win understandings. I said it before. If you want to be on a winning team, this is the team to be on. You can sit all the way down at the very end of that bench. You're a reserve player. Doesn't matter. But the championship ring goes to everybody on the team. So get you a championship ring. Stop playing around, because I'm not playing around. I'm deadly serious. Needs and wants. We talked about that. Expenses can be divided into two categories: needs and wants. Needs are essentials, food, housing, etc. Wants are luxuries, things that would be nice to have, but can be done without. That's all. That's all. I'm not going to harp on this because all of that makes perfect sense. Let's move it on. Again, credit and debt. What is credit? Do you even know what it is? Do you have a full understanding of what credit is? Credit is a financial tool which allows you to buy something now, pay for it later. Done. I don't need to get all technical. Done. Financial tool which allows you to buy now, pay later. That's contractual understanding. And if you live up to the contractual understanding, you're going to be extended more credit at a much, much lower interest rate. The difference between credit reports and credit scores. Credit reports is a detailed account of a borrower's credit history. It's collected and maintained by a credit bureau. And I leave that word in there specifically because it constantly keeps popping up. Not for me, but for you. I already know the difference. A bureau is a federal agency, or it's attached to a federal agency. These credit reporting agencies are not bureaus. Okay, they have zero function with the United States government other than the United States government, meaning Congress and all of these investors. They invest in these Equifax, TransUnion, Experian. They make money off of them. That's the reason why it makes it so much harder for them to regulate them. Anytime you make money off somebody, you're not going to be very keen to making sure that they're doing business in the manner in which they should be doing business. So that's why Congress should not be allowed to invest in businesses that they themselves have to regulate. Not that hard. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi, but you should have did it decades ago, not just brought it up to this year. Credit has different costs. Of course it does. APR, the higher the APR, the more expensive the credit. The worse your credit score is, the more you're going to be paying for access to it. So it's really important to start improving those understandings. As I said, if you want to wait till after the Christmas season, after the season of giving, if that's what you want to do, hey, that's cool. Me personally, I'm not all about that. I'm not all about that. I've been doing what I need to be doing since August of this year. Been putting all of those particulars right back in play because, as I stated, the pandemic not only hurt me, it hurt everybody. It hurt everybody. But I'm one of those resilient types of individuals. I bounce back. I get up off the floor. I dust myself off, and I'm ready to move again. I'm not going to sit down there and wallow in my sorrow. And too many of us do. We're still waiting for the man to get off our neck. The man's off your neck. Now, can we do what we need to do? It's just that simple. The lower credit scores affect your credit worthiness and your cost of borrowing. It's not hard to understand that. If you're not living up to your contractual obligations, who's going to continue to extend you that understanding? No, they're not. And even if they do, you're going to be paying a much higher cost. That's going to put you right back into that default area. Let's focus on success and less on sabotage. All right, so we're in the employment area. Yeah, that plays in as well to your financial literacy knowledge, the employment area, knowing whether or not the choice about education and skills can affect income. Income is taxed. Don't be afraid of tax, folks. Don't be afraid of them. They improve your roads. They improve your schools. They improve your access to the beaches and libraries and things of that nature. Don't be afraid of taxes. You should break even. If you're not breaking even, you can talk to a tax advisor. That's not my space. I'm not going to even begin to dive into it because that's not my realm. Now I can tell you whose realm it is. Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse. Access Wealth Nation. You got a question about taxes? I just give you the solution. The answer and the solution. Understood your work benefits. Understand your work benefits. These are a perk. And if you do not use those perks, guess what? You lose those perks. All right, investing. Understanding investing. Do you understand investing? Do you have a plan to invest? If you do not have a plan to invest, you're planning to fail. You're putting all of your money into one nest egg and you are planning to fail. Excuse me. Just that simple. Time value of money. Money is time, time is money. Money is time, time is money. The time value of money is an important concept of investors. It refers to the potential of money to grow in value over time. If you don't understand these, you don't know this, again, you need to start talking to those who do. Consequences of delaying investments. There are consequences, folks. There are consequences. You're going to get somewhere later in life thinking that there's going to be something there, and in all actuality, there's nothing there because you didn't understand the concept of investing. Economic conditions affect the stock market and investments. Know that so well. I know that so well because I have been putting a lot of my energy and time into that space. But again, it's still not my lane. And I'm not going to begin to introduce it in the manner in which someone who's far more proficient than I could definitely do that. I'll give you some understandings of what you have to do or what you should be doing, but the experts are out there, just like I'm out there expressing the importance of financial literacy and the utmost importance of credit. I'm going to leave all of that other piece that's not my area of expertise. I'm going to leave that to the experts, but I'm definitely going to tell you these are some of the things that you have to do. All right, risk management. The purpose of insurance. Insurance can protect you from significant financial costs related to things like medical expenses or property damage. It allows you to pay a small cost now to avoid a large cost in the future that may be unaffordable. We just talked about $400. People don't even have $400 to pay for an emergency. That's unacceptable in the richest nation on the face of the planet. Unacceptable. Working poor, middle class, unacceptable. We have to do better. We're giving you all the tools, all the understanding to do better. Start doing it. Because if you do, I'm telling you, you're going to be so blessed. It's just that you're going to be so blessed. Don't you want your blessings in this season of giving? Get them blessings, folks. Get them blessings. All right, another one, decision making. Financially responsible requires active decision making. You have to want to win. You have to want to win because you're going to lose if you do not. If you do not start getting responsible about your decision making. Time value of money again. That's another one of those. Again, it's a concept that can be repeated in multiple areas. Time is money. Money is time. Time is money. Money is time. Use it wisely. All right, so now we're moving into the skills area. We were just in the knowledge area, and as you have already seen, the spending and savings was in the knowledge area. Now we're focusing on the skills area. So create a budget. Schedule and maintain bill payments. I've been telling everybody, allocate your credit cards. Once you've allocated those credit cards, put them into a week. 1 week. Put all your bills into 1 week. It is a cycle. If you have your bills spread out over months, you're setting yourself up for failure. Put them bills into one specific week. Execute that in the manner in which it's going to help you get to that next level. And I'll talk more about it as we move, not through this particular day, but as we move further and further into the recovery and the conversation of financial literacy. Got to make sure you're doing these pieces. Compare, shop. Why are you out there just buying? Comparison shop. It's really easy. Know how to research the best price for a product before making a purchase. That's not that hard. You're complaining about inflation, but yet you're still out there spending. I don't get that one. I put my stuff to the side. I'll wait till it go on double, triple, quadruple discount. I don't need to be the first one to get it off the assembly line. Don't need at all. And build savings through the pay yourself first method. Now, again, I love the fact that we're doing something to increase your own bottom line, but be very, very cautious of the savings mechanisms that are out there. If the banks or those financial institutions are making more money than you, then you need to be asking the right questions. If you do not know those questions, here I am. I'm sitting right here. Let me know. My colleagues are out there too. They want to know. If you are unsure what is happening with your money, you need to start letting us know because we can help you. We can get you to that next level. All right, credit and debt. Again, request your credit report. If you're not requesting your credit report, you're already behind the 8 ball. If you have not looked at your credit in the last month, you probably don't even know that that annual credit report are giving them away for free every single week up until the end of 2023. Why are you not looking at the most important piece of your financial life? You check your phone, you check your oil, you check your temperature, you check the heat. I mean, we're checking so many things, but the one thing that has so much of an impact on our lives, we're not even looking at it, even though it's been given to us for free. It used to be once a year, but now due to COVID, it's once a week. I should be hearing from a lot more people in these next coming months. Monitor your credit score. We monitor our battery level on our phone. We monitor the time that we spend in the shower. We monitor all of these things. But the one thing that has the most impact on our financial lives, well, not that important. It's just like when we think about voting, not that important. Well, sorry to say, voting is super important. And the more we do it, the more we then become the more we focus on the importance of voting and our financial understanding, the better we will be able to hold elected officials accountable. And that's where I'm always going to be directing our attention. Once we are skilled and once we are knowledgeable, then we must start holding those who we've entrusted. We must start holding them accountable. Determine the most cost-effective method of making a purchase with credit. Lowest interest possible. Lowest interest possible. Allocate those cards. Make sure that you are writing down, recording your due date, your actual report date, and the date. Let's do that again. Due date, the report date or closing date, and then the actual date that it hits your credit report. Those three things are going to save you tremendously, and they're going to allow for you to knock on that door and go, hey, what are you doing if they're doing it wrong? And we're going to applaud them if they're doing it right. But if they're doing it wrong, we're going to pull that collar so hard. And that's what I need you to understand. You have to take back the control that we've thought for whatever reason we never had or we lost. We never lost it. We just weren't empowered. Now I'm empowering you. I'm giving you back everything that you thought you lost. Got the hiccups. Woo. All right. So employment into that skills area. Use a career path to determine income potential. Just because you get that first job doesn't mean you still 20 years later have to be at that same salary range. You should be a lot higher with your experience and your understanding and your knowledge. Just because the federal government refuses to do what I've been asking them to do for the longest time, 725 is the minimum federal minimum wage. Yes, the states might be doing their part, but they're still not there. If you think about inflation, you should be somewhere by $30 to $40 an hour, and we're just meeting the 15. Thank God for some of the companies out there who understand, yeah, well, you know what? We have made gazillions of dollars, so maybe we should start giving our employees $18 or $15. Ooh, thank you so much. You're so generous. But yet you've been capitalizing off us forever. Now you want to be a little bit generous. You want to start allowing this trickle-down economics to start trickling down. I could go on for days in this area. Calculate the future income needed to maintain your lifestyle in retirement. 401ks, I'm sorry to have to tell you, they're not giving you a lot of information that you really need. Again, that's just my personal understanding. You want to know more about 401ks, Roth IRAs or IRAs, pensions, annuities, investment, home equity. This is where my colleague, Dr. Yana B. Woodhouse, would be the most excellent person. I have another friend. His name is Antonio Kenyatta. I bring these two up all the time because that's the space that they reside in. That's the space that they are able to assist you in the best possible way. I'm a credit guy. I am a credit, and I'm going to keep saying I'm a credit guy because I love that space. Love it. Love it. I love being able to walk into a courtroom if you get a summary judgment. I love being able to get on that phone and let Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian understand you're not dealing with the idiots or the retards or the morons anymore. My apologies if I offended anyone. Not if that I may have offended someone with those verbiages. So my sincerest apology. But unfortunately, sometimes you got to hit below the belt a little bit to get the desirable response. So you really got to start doing better in that area. And if you are unsure about those investment opportunities, those retirement savings accounts, you need to start asking those who are managing your money. Because if you don't, again, I'm telling you right now, they're going to take advantage of you. They're going to take advantage of you if they haven't already been doing that. All right, so investing again is part of that skills area. It was in the knowledge area and it's equally part of the skills area. Implement a diversified investment strategy. That means not all your eggs in one basket. Find some Keep a watchful eye on the market to know when to divest. And if you don't know what that means, allow for the experts to help you in that area. This is so important for us to get out of the space of thinking we know and moving into the space of gaining the knowledge and then asking those who have been managing our responsibilities, asking them the questions that give us more satisfaction and also profit in that bottom line. Not just one without the other. I need both. Identify warning signs of investment fraud. Again, beware of brokers giving inside information. As I stated, I'm not here to dive into this. I'm here to give you some of the key factors in a, shall we say, 101 type of understanding. The basics, just the basics. Just the basics. I'm touching on just the basics so that you can walk away with a better understanding. And then hopefully you'll reach out. You'll say, hey, you know what? That was good. That was great. That was golden. I definitely needed that. Now I'm going to start doing what you're asking. That's all I can do, folks. I can only put it to you in black and white, and hopefully you will then respond accordingly. Risk management also is a skill. Compare costs to purchase insurance. All right. It's just, I mean, I love being able to do this. I love putting these slides together. I love being able to go to the various websites and gather all of this information so that I can bring it to you so that you can all see, you know what? Hey, I'm either going to do it for myself or I'm going to put it into the hands of somebody else and not know nothing. And then I'm going to have to trust them. Well, we trusted the last guy who was the president of the United States. And again, regardless of your politics, but that last guy had did some really shady stuff. Even this guy right now, everybody's talking about, the shady stuff that he's doing. Again, that's not my space, not my area, but I am a citizen of this nation. And I do understand my politics and how I like my politics. I got to say, this guy is much better than the last guy. And clearly the one before that, we all know what Barack Obama brought to the table. And Joe Biden is doing almost, if not better. That's just my personal opinion. You don't have to agree, but all of us have an opinion. Opinions are like, you've heard the saying before. Yes, that's what they're like that. And everybody has one. Decision making. All right. So decision making, as with all of the other categories that you saw, they focus on the knowledge and they focus on the skills. All right. Identify sources of sound financial information. All right. Understanding the important factors of consider before hiring a personal financial advisor, an attorney, a tax advisor, or financial planner. Know these individuals. Know that they're good. And if they're not good, it's okay to go out and find somebody else. It's okay to shop around. But I can tell you right now, the individuals that I mentioned, there's no need to shop around. Dr. Yana B is a recipient of the Black Wall Street in Tulsa award that she just received. I believe it was last year, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me if I am. But again, Access Wealth Nation. She's the first Black woman on Wall Street. Her credentials are unprecedented for a Black woman in a white man's world when it comes to that understanding. All right. So again, give her the time of day, give her the understanding that you need assistance and help. She's right there to help you out. Same thing with Antonio Kenyatta. He's a fiduciary. If you don't know what a fiduciary is, that means he has to make sure that everything he does is benefiting you. That's the brilliance and the beauty of understanding having these types of individuals within a tight-knit communication circle so that we can help anyone in any situation. All right, so who's investing? Take a look at this real quick and tell me who's investing. All right, the most commonly ethnic among investors is white, which makes up 73.2%. of all investors. We need to really start looking at this gap and going, oh my God. And I pose this question to my students. Would you allow your parents, well, let me rephrase that. Would you get into an airplane, a car, a bus, a boat, submarine, a rocket, where they were only getting you to your destination 10.5% of the time or 8.7% of the time? Would you ride with anybody like that? Again, they're only getting you there 10.5 or 8.7% of the time. And I'm sure a lot of you are out there going, no, absolutely not. Because most of my students, if not all of them, some of them may not understand how I pose the question. But after I reiterate the question, they're all like, no, 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 no. We're driving, we're flying, we're sailing our children's future directly off or into a mountain, off a cliff, you name it. That's what we're doing. These numbers are telling you exactly what we're doing. And we have to redecide. We have to decide, what are we going to do when it comes to this area of our financial understanding? Look at the difference between men and women. Why are women so afraid to invest? Women, please call Tyrone. Erykah Badu gave you permission. Call me. I would like to know so I can pass you off to my friend, Dr. Yana B or Antonio. I would like to know, because this is not sitting very well with me, even though I understand, as I said, credit guy. I understand you do most of the purchasing at the house. I understand that you manage the budget, that you control that pocketbook at the house. So why are you not investing? Help me understand that. All right, more than 1 in 4 Americans say their debt is unmanageable. The state of America's finances. Take a look at it, enjoy it. Definitely do something that's going to help you with getting better at this. The majority of Americans don't have, again, budgets that is regularly followed. Retirement account, savings account, emergency funds. Why? I asked the question, please provide me back with some type of an answer so I can help you with understanding how do we get you to that next level. How did COVID-19 impact America's finances? How did the pandemic affect your financial situation? It made it worse. 53% of the population. 73% said it did impact my financial situation. And made it better, 10%. That's impressive. But 34% have frequently experienced stress or anxiety about their finances since COVID started. Come on, folks. All right. And top financial successors: paying bills other than mortgage or rent, debt, having enough savings, having enough food, paying mortgage or rent. More than 1 in 10 worry they won't have enough money for retirement. Folks, we got to do better. We got to do better. So the bottom line, financial literacy is important not only because financial literacy provides a foundation for informed financial decision making, but because financial responsibility is increasing. In the past, in the past, for instance, employees would manage employees' retirement account. Today, individuals assume more of the responsibility via self-direction retirement accounts. All right, that's it. That's the bottom line, folks. You got to do better. You got to want better. Hey, this is how we do it. This is why we do it. Get in touch with us. Leverage Credit Recovery. We are on Linktree. That's the website. Leverage Credit Recovery on Linktree. We're on Linktree. Linktree. Go to my Linktree. You're going to find a cadre of wonderful selections of all the cool things that we do. And you're going to be able to see all of the videos, because we're putting the videos on Linktree and we're also leaving them obviously on SoulCity. Leverage Credit Recovery at gmail.com is the email, and 805-428-9424. 805-428-9424 is our contact information. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. This goes so fast. An hour is like That's like woo, woo, woo. That breezes through. But when you're so good like myself, again, good. I'm exceptional. I'm not just good, I'm exceptional. I'm that good. And I want you to understand that if you do, should you reach out to me, you're going to get exactly what you get, which is someone who understands how to help you navigate through whatever financial situation that you might be dealing with. My name is Tyrone Glover. I am your dress down CEO of Leverage Credit Recovery. I appreciate you. I love you. Thank you, everybody who decided to join me last week's Saturday for my very first library experience. It was wonderful. My name again is Tyrone Glover. I am your credit recovery experts. I want to thank you all. Have a great evening. Travel well. And America, as always, be safe.